Affirmative, Alpha. We received
Oh my God. Are you getting this?
Yes, sir. It's uploading back to base camp.
That's incredible.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to an episode of 24 Hour Script. Let's get right in today's video. I cannot believe the information we're going to go over today. And what I can't even believe is that there's going to be a handful of individuals, maybe a little bit, that are going to sit there and think this is BS. But ladies and gentlemen, those are pigeon brains, we call them, okay? And in today's video, I'm going to show you hardcore evidence that you just cannot disagree with. The timing adds up perfectly to what we're gonna go over, and that is through the XRP scan. We're going over metrics that can't be hidden on the XRP ledger. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. I tweeted this out today with a bunch of sirens, and I never do that. The only reason why I did that is because I have hardcore evidence that you just cannot disagree with. At the end of the day, we need to come to an understanding and know what's going to drive the price of XRP. And Brad Garlinghouse, can you let my audience know what's going to drive the value of XRP?
The value of a token over the long term is really going to be derived by its utility. What problem is it solving? How big is that problem? How many customers do you have?
Okay, so now that we have that in the back of our heads, we know Ripple has accomplished all of that. Okay, it's built a community of basically trillionaires in terms of governments and banks. They're all going to be utilizing RippleNet technology at the end. They're going to communicate together. And in today's video, I'm going to show you that they're doing it as we speak. So where do we begin? This is TicketCreate on the XRP ledger. And I'm going to go ahead and break down what TicketCreate means in a moment. But first, let me show you the SWIFT document that just came out. This came out on the 13th. SWIFT advances CBDC innovation as interlinking solution begins beta testing. You gotta take a listen to this. 3 central banks and monetary authorities currently beta testing SWIFT's breakthrough CBDC connector as interest in interoperability solution grows. And if you guys remember, interoperability is key.
In other words, we need interoperability.
We do want to have an open and interoperable system. Central bank digital currencies are not constructed to be interoperable.
Interoperability between central bank digital currencies
is very much there needs to be interoperability globally. And even in a world of CBDCs, you still need interoperability to solve.
It has to work interoperably with anyone, anywhere. That's how we're going to solve this problem.
In other words, we need interoperability.
And here we have SWIFT talking about it. The beta solution has taken its next step with 3 central banks and monetary authorities, including the Hong Kong Monetary Authority, which we know Ripple is working with, and the National Bank of Kazakhstan, integrating the solution with their own infrastructure for direct testing. SWIFT has also initiated a second phase of sandbox testing in which commercial banks, central banks, and financial market infrastructures are exploring additional use cases, including trigger-based payments for digital trade platforms. Right there, folks. Trigger-based payments is pretty much also AKA TicketCreate, because TicketCreate can be triggered. Okay, we're going to get into it. Foreign exchange models, delivery versus payment, and liquidity saving mechanisms. The Reserve Bank of Australia, Deutsche Bundesbank, HKMA, Bank of Thailand, and CLS are among the enlarged group of more than 30 leading institutions in the second phase. And we could confirm Australia, Deutsche Bundesbank, HKM, Bank of Thailand are all correlated to Ripple, and that is a fact. Okay, this is just the tip of the iceberg. If this is the first video you're watching, folks, this is just the tip. According to the Atlantic Council, 130 countries representing 98% of GDP are now exploring CBDCs. Remember what I said about the IMF and the 190 countries and how IMF trumps the SEC and the US laws, okay? Ripple is very powerful. The individuals, the companies that are behind Ripple are absolutely massive. This SEC versus Ripple case was all staged. SWIFT, to counter this fragmentation, has prioritized focus within its innovation agenda on interoperability for digital currencies and tokenized assets to enable them to seamlessly scale if and when they're deployed into the financial ecosystem. Wow. This is the testings are happening right now. The beta testings, it's happening and they're scaling. How do I know that? Because if we go to an article back from March 9th, 2023, banks see clear potential and value in SWIFT experimental CBDC connector after sandbox collaboration. And at the end of the day, they're saying they're utilizing Corda as well, which we know is correlated to Ripple XRP, but we don't need to get into that because we have better facts. We have better hardcore evidence here. And then this was last year, okay? SWIFT accepts community request to start ISO 20022 migration in March 2023. And guess what happened? That's when it started. And here are the metrics, ladies and gentlemen. This is September 2023. We're going to zoom out just to a year, and then you'll see March 10th is when these TicketCreate just skyrocketed. At the same time, March 20th, SWIFT came out and said coexistence begin opening new possibilities for cross-border payments. Well. TicketCreate is actually a very important mechanism for SWIFT and institutions for adoption. And I'm going to show you exactly why in a second. But I also want to show you how new this TicketCreate feature is. If we zoom out, it just started tracking on November 18th, 2021. And ladies and gentlemen, here is another mic drop moment. November was the same month that the G20, I'm getting goosebumps, that the G20 was exploring liquidity bridges. What are the odds that TicketCreate, a feature where financial institutions will require in the future, all of a sudden becomes active when the G20 roadmap indicates that they're going to explore liquidity bridges in November 2021. And like I said, you guys already know what I'm talking about if you don't watch my previous videos, but November was a very important date for the G20, Ripple, and liquidity bridge exploration. And that's when TicketCreate, ladies and gentlemen, came on. Wow, massive. Now let's talk about TicketCreate. What is TicketCreate? TicketCreate is a transaction type that allows an account on the XRP ledger to request a specified amount of a particular asset to be held in reserve for future use. This feature is designed to reserve a portion of an account balance for specific purposes, such as liquidity provisioning or participating in DeFi applications. When an account creates a ticket, it specifies the desired amount of an asset and the address of the issuer of that asset. The XRP ledger verifies if the account has a sufficient balance to hold the reserved amount. If the account meets the requirements, the ticket is created and the specified amount of the asset is held in reserve. The purpose of TicketCreate is to provide a means of efficient and controlled reservation of assets on the XRP ledger. It enables liquidity providers and other participants to signal their intention to provide liquidity or engage in specific activities while ensuring that the reserved assets are not readily available for other purposes, okay? And 100 billion XRP is not enough, folks. It's not enough. Once there's demand, This bad boy, ladies and gentlemen, is hitting triple digits, 1 trillion%. TicketCreate utilized for testing. Banks and Swift, okay, can utilize the TicketCreate transaction type on the XRP ledger for testing purposes. When banks are exploring the integration of the XRP ledger into their systems, they often conduct testing and simulations that evaluate its functionality, performance, and compatibility with their infrastructure. During the testing phase, banks or Swift can create a ticket transaction to simulate reserving a specific amount of an asset on the XRP ledger. This allows them to assess how the ledger handles the reservation process and ensures that the reserved assets are set aside for the intended purpose. By using TicketCreate transactions, banks or Swift can test various scenarios related to reserving assets, such as liquidity provisioning, capital management, or other activities that require asset reservations. This enables them to verify the accuracy of the reservation process, evaluate the impact on the account balances, and ensure that the reserved assets are correctly allocated. Testing with TicketCreate transactions help banks identify any issues, validate the integration of their system with the XRP ledger, and ensure the proper functioning of an asset reservation mechanism. It allows them to gain confidence in the operational aspect of utilizing the XRP ledger within their testing environment before deploying it in production setting. And them testing it, let's go into it a little bit more so you guys really understand what's going on here. Banks and Swift can run tests using the ticket system in the XRP ledger to evaluate effectiveness, optimize their transaction processing, and explore potential use cases. During times of network congestion, having tickets can help banks ensure their transactions are processed promptly. By holding a sufficient number of tickets, banks can increase the likelihood of their transactions being prioritized over others without tickets. This can be particularly useful when there's a high volume of transactions and banks want to ensure timely processing. Banks can simulate high transaction volumes and network congestion scenarios to assess the performance and scalability of their system in conjunction with the ticket system. By measuring transaction processing times and throughput under various conditions, banks can identify any potential bottlenecks or areas for improvement. And that's why they're scaling it. Wait until you see this. Banks can stress test the XRP ledger's ticket system by simulating adversarial scenarios or high demand situation to evaluate the network's resilience. By intentionally creating congestion and observing how the ticket system responds, banks can gauge the effectiveness of the prioritization mechanism and assess the overall stability and reliability of the network. Banks can integrate the ticket system with their existing infrastructure and systems to ensure smooth interoperability. They can test the compatibility of their transaction processing systems, APIs, or middleware with the XRP ledger's ticket functionality. This helps banks identify and address any potential issues or discrepancies during the integration process. Ladies and gentlemen, this is so big. I don't think people understand how big this is. And this is them scaling it. Okay, let's just go to a year out. As you guys could see, they did, when ISO 20022 rolled out, it had the big spike for TicketCreate. And then it calmed down a little bit, and then it started again. And then it stayed consistent. It stayed consistent, all the way up until now, when Swift comes out with this article for beta testing and interlinking systems. And then now you see that if we go into 3 months, they have scaled to the next leg up and the consistent level has started again. They're slowly scaling and testing the system. A lot of people are still not going to see the bigger picture after this video, but that is okay. I do appreciate every single one of you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I will be there listening to you guys. Let me know. This is a big takeaway here We went over a lot in today's video. I do appreciate every single one of you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I am sweating because I'm just so excited. I can't sit still right now. I know for 100%, this is not a coincidence. This is not a coincidence. TicketCreate is a feature that Swift banks they're gonna need to utilize. It actually benefits them. Even when we go on the Ripple website, listen to this, right? And this is what they say. A ticket in the XRP ledger is a way of setting aside a sequence number for a transaction without sending it right away. Tickets allow transactions to be sent outside the normal sequence order. One use case for this is to allow for multi-sign transactions where it may take a while to collect the necessary signatures. While collecting signatures for a transaction that use a ticket, you can still send other transactions. Oh my God, and this is where I'm about to go and I'm gonna drop the mic right here. Did you just hear what we just talked about? A multi-sign transaction. When we're looking at it from a bank perspective, I don't even know why I just repeated that because I'm just getting very excited right now. There's gonna be some transactions, let's just say there's $1 billion transaction, and let's just say there's $500 million transaction where you're gonna require multi-sign transactions, where you're gonna need double the verification. You're gonna need, maybe the CEO's verification or the manager's verification for some transactions. This is all that playing out behind the scenes right now, ladies and gentlemen. With that being said, I do appreciate every single one of you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And we will be back with another video.
We started building RippleNet with the thesis that crypto liquidity would eventually be able to support robust global payments, large payments. RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough. And this is exactly what's happening.
Flip the switch.
I think what we're building has, it's solving a real problem. And I think all of the tokens, my advice to anybody would be, understand the utility. If there's real utility and there's real value being delivered to a real customer, there will be value in the token.